Hey guys, good evening to everyone. Thanks for joining. So yesterday we started firewall and we discussed about what is firewall licensing, how to purchase firewall, what are the generations of firewalls we have. Then also we have seen firewall deployment. Then also we have seen what are the different types of zones we have, and
Firewall
also
features.
types of firewall features, difference between Palo Alto and other vendor firewalls. Then we'll continue in the today class also firewall. So next one is firewall licenses, licensing option. Firewall licenses. So what exactly licenses we have to purchase? All these features as well as licenses, I am saying in generic way. It's a common for every vendor firewall. Okay. So first one is we have to purchase antivirus licensing. So example, maybe you can go for FortiGate 2400. It's one of the model number. So example, maybe you can see this one FortiGate 2400 model number. In this similar way, Palo Alto. Palo Alto, in short, we will call it a PA. PA 3050. It's a one of the model number. So this is example PA 3050. Okay. After purchasing the firewall, along with this firewall, we have to purchase some of the additional licenses also. What are features we have? All those features we have to purchase licenses. So this model number, along with this model number, nothing but a physical hardware device, that is physical or virtual as well. That is fine. Additionally, we have to purchase the licenses also. So what are those licenses? One is antivirus license we have to purchase. Next one, we have to purchase URL filtering. So this is also called a content or web filtering. So this is the additional license we have to purchase. Next one, we have to purchase IDS IPS. So IDS IPS purchase, example, maybe this is $2,000, example only. So this is $2,000. Next one, $2,000. Next one, $2,000. So in such a way, maybe physical hardware model number is maybe 100K USD dollars. So meaning this one, this entire device, maybe 100K USD dollars. Additionally, all these licenses also we have to purchase. Antivirus we have to purchase, URL filtering, IDS IPS. Next one, network DLP. Next one, we have to purchase malware analysis. Next one, Wi-Fi monitoring, spyware protection, Even we have to purchase premium support also. Premium support. So premium support meaning here, in case you are facing any issues, you don't know how to configure, maybe some of the VPN connections, or maybe if you don't know how to configure something in the firewall, that firewall policies, VPN connections, maybe interfaces configurations, or security profiles configurations. In that scenario, we have to pay a premium support also. It's like a warranty support kind of thing. Premium nothing but in official terminology, in corporate culture, we'll call it premium support, warranty. It's a kind of warranty. So whenever something it is happened, and if you don't know something configuration related, troubleshooting related, fixing the issues or fixing the problem, for premium support also you have to purchase additional licenses. So example, this is also maybe 2000. In such a way, what are additional licenses are there? All those additional licenses we have to purchase. Altogether 100K plus 16,000 USD dollars. So everything summing together, it will come 116,000 USD dollars or 116K USD dollars. Nothing but 1,16,000 USD dollars. So this much total overall firewall cost. Okay. So that is firewall licenses we have to purchase. So these are all the licenses. These are all the generic way, but vendor to vendor, it will maybe vary. Vendor to vendor, maybe in Palo Alto, we will call some other licenses. In FortiGate, they will call some other licenses. In SonicWall, some other licenses. So these are all the generic licenses we have to purchase. Okay. Next one is Firewall Manager. firewall manager. So what is this? What is mean by firewall manager? It will manage all the firewalls. It will manage all the firewalls. So example, in our organization level, consider maybe our organization is located in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kolkata, and so on. So our office location, 10 location. It's like a distributed location. It's a distributed company. Okay. Our office is located in the multiple locations. So all those locations are total number of count of the locations, 10 locations. Headquarters may be example Bangalore. Remaining 9 locations are branch offices. So every location we have to purchase 2 firewalls. So Chennai 2 firewalls, Bangalore 2 firewalls, Mumbai 2 firewalls, Kolkata 2 firewalls, Pune 2 firewalls, Delhi 2 firewalls, and so on. So now, total number of firewalls, how many guys? Every location 2 firewalls, primary and backup. 10 locations, how many firewalls?
20.
20, sir.
20, yeah, 20 firewalls. So 20 firewalls managing it is not so easy from different consoles. So every firewall has a one console. Console is nothing but user console, graphical user interface. Graphical user interface example. So for Bangalore location, maybe our company belongs to Wipro. Wipro Bang Firewall1.com. So this is the primary firewall. Wipro Bangalore 2, Bangalore Firewall2.com. This is the backup firewall. In the similar Wipro Hyderabad HYD Firewall1.com. So Wipro Firewall, Wipro Hyderabad Firewall2.com. In such a way, each and every file, each and every location wise. So if you want to log into firewall, we have to give this particular management IP or management console. So example, we have seen central.sophos.com. Central.sophos.com, that is example management console. We are managing the console through that particular www.centralsophos.com. That is called either that is called management IP address or management console. Okay. So in such a way, if 20 firewalls are available, so for managing all the firewalls, it's a little bit clumsy and difficult. So everywhere we have to click on this one and we have to enter the username and password. Here also we have to enter the username and password. Here also we have to enter username and password. Okay. So 20 graphical user interfaces I have to type. Example here, Wipro Bangalore Firewall.1. Wipro Bangalore Firewall1.com. I have to enter the username and password. Here in the console, Wipro Bangalore 2 Firewall.com. In this console, Wipro Hyderabad Firewall1.com and so on. So 20 consoles or 20 graphical user interfaces we have to open. It is a little bit difficult to managing all the 20 firewalls, not only for just for logging the device, even if you want to do the configuration also, all those firewalls, it is a little bit difficult. So that's why every vendor is supporting firewall manager also. Nothing but we have to purchase additional license as a firewall manager. From that firewall manager, we can manage all the firewalls. I no need to open the 20 consoles. From single firewall manager, I can open the multiple firewalls. That may be configurations I can do. That may be troubleshooting I can do. That may be anything, whatever, if you want to do in the firewall, everything we can do from firewall manager. So they're called firewall manager. So different vendors, they provided the different names. Example, Fortinet, they will call it as a FortiGate firewall. Firewall manager, they call it as a Fortinet. Forti manager. So FortiGate firewall manager name is Forti manager. Cisco side, Cisco firewall manager. Cisco firewall manager. On the Palo Alto side, we'll call it Panorama. Panorama. Firewall manager name in FortiGate is a Forti manager. Cisco side, Cisco Firewall Manager. Palo Alto side is a Panorama. So from Panorama, we can manage multiple firewalls related to Palo Alto. From Cisco sites, from Cisco Firewall Manager, we can manage multiple firewalls. In the similar way, FortiGate side, from Forti Manager, we can manage multiple firewalls related to FortiGate. Okay. So compulsory, we have to purchase Firewall Manager also. If two firewalls are this, then it's okay. Your office is contains in a single location, only two firewalls. That time Firewall Manager is not required. Only multiple locations and so many locations and so many firewalls we have. In that scenario, managing the firewalls and troubleshooting, configuring, and so on, it is very difficult for us. So that's why we have to purchase Firewall Manager also. Okay. Next one is a NATing. So NATing full form is Network Address Translation. Network Address Translation. It's interview question, guys. What is NAT? It's interview question. In couple of interviews, they will ask. If are going for dedicated to firewall interview, they will ask what is NATing. So NAT method, Network Address Translation method. So what it will do, it will map or convert. It will convert or map private IP address to public IP address. It will map private IP, it will convert or map private IP address to public IP address. Every business and every organization will maintain the business public IP addresses also. Some of the public IP address also we will purchase. So whatever private IP address is there, that one will map to the public IP. Our public business IP address will map. That is called NATing, because the attacker should not know what is the IP address we are using related to our private IP. So there are three different types of NATs we have, types of NAT. One is static NAT. Static NAT. Second one is a dynamic NAT. Third one is a port NAT. Static NAT, dynamic NAT, and port NAT. In static NAT side, single private IP address, will map to single public IP. So that is called static NAT. Dynamic NAT side, multiple private IP address will map to public IP. So port NAT, along with IP address, we will specify the port also, port number also. Example 443. So along with IP address, along with private IP address, we'll specify the port number as well for the mapping side. So that's called port NAT. So these are the three different types of NAT. So normally when we will map this one, so as I said, we have three different types of zones. One is the trust zone, second one is DMZ or DMZ zone, third one is untrust zone, otherwise external or internet or public zone. See, these are the three different types of zones. Only for internet facing related interface only we will map. As per network architecture diagram, example, there are three different types of zones. Some of the traffic is going from untrust to DMZ or DMZ to untrust. In that scenario, we will not map anything. Example, some of the traffic is going from trust to untrust, nothing but it is going to public. In that scenario only, we will use this NATing option. DMZ to trust, it's not required. Trust to DMZ is not required. Mapping of the NATing part. But when the traffic is going from internal to external for internet purpose, for internal applications or internal traffic monitoring, there is no need to map the NATing. So only when the traffic is going from internal to external, So that may be trust to untrust, nothing but external applications. So
Outbound.
example, one of the user is accessing the google.com. In that scenario, maybe this is the interface. Example, interface 1, interface 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are all the interfaces. And this interface called management interface. And this is called high availability interface. So all these are interfaces. This is management interface, nothing but from this interface only, we will log in the device through remotely. And you can see USB drive also available here, USB drive. Okay, and left hand side somewhere fan also available for heat dissipation, it will take care. So, and one of the interfaces high availability, nothing but, so two firewalls, if you want to configure, we will use a physical cable connection as well. So maybe example interface 1, it is a pasting to the internet. For this interface, we will configure the NAT. Maybe through this interface, it is configuring to ISP router to internet. For this interface, we have to use a NATing connection. Maybe IP interface 2, it is like internal servers monitoring only within our organization level. For this one, there is no need to map any NATing part. Only internet facing interfaces only, we have to configure the NATing option. Okay. So that is about NATing part. Next one. Security profiles. Security profile, these are all very, very important, guys. Without security profiles, firewall is like a dummy device only. It will not block anything. Similarly, we have seen in Sophos here policies. So policies are very, very important. In the same way, same as it is, even for firewall also, security profiles as well as policies are very important. Without security profiles and also without policies, firewall is like a dummy device. It will not work at all. So what are the different types of security profiles we have to configure? One of the security profile is antivirus we have to configure. One of the security profile we have to configure URL filtering. Then we have to configure application control. Then we have to configure web control. Then we have to configure DNS filtering.
IP filtering.
File filtering. No IP, no IP. File filtering, Wi-Fi monitoring or Wi-Fi filtering, Wi-Fi monitoring. Security profiles we have to configure. Next one, IDS IPS we have to configure. Proxy we have to configure. Web application firewall we have to configure. Okay, WAF we have to configure. There are a lot of other more as well.
File integrity monitoring.
File integrity monitoring in the host level, it will not do.
Sir, VPN, sir?
VPN, I don't think so option is available. VPN, the separate option is available for VPN configuration. So for security profile, I don't think so VPN. If you want it, just you can open the FortiGate firewall. We'll come to on left hand side. I already show you, right, yesterday?
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sir, what about IP filtering, sir?
IP filtering is a combination of any packet is coming, it will scan, it will identify automatically. There is no need to separate profile we have to configure. So these are all the couple of security profiles. VPN, I will verify. I have doubt on VPN. Let's see. So generic way I'm saying vendor to vendor, it will vary. Vendor to vendor, it will vary. So there is, I don't think so VPN is there. Let's see. Yeah, meanwhile, it will open. So after creating these security profiles, so by default, vendor will provide the profiles. By default, vendor will provide the profiles. So if you want, you can use those profiles. You can see antivirus, web filter, video filter also there. DNS, application control, IPS, file filter, voice over IP, SSL, SSH, application signature. Yeah, so these are like VPN is not there. So these are a couple of this generic way I'm saying. FortiGate maybe vendor has a different one. They have additional video filter also. Palo Alto has a different one and so on. But on the generic way, so these are some of the security profiles we have to configure. After configuring these security profiles, what we have to do? we have to apply these profiles in the policies. Otherwise, it's like a dummy. So whatever these profiles like a default profiles, all these are by default vendor will be provided. So by default vendor will provide all these profiles. So maybe whatever antivirus profile it is configured, you don't like it. Maybe you want to do customization, some of the customization. So example, if I want to show practically, just click on antivirus.
Sir, these are next generation firewall features only, right, sir?
Yes, you are right. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, we need to create the security profiles, right?
Yes, we have to.
Okay. Okay, sir.
You can see default profile. Default profile. If you want, you can use this default profile. Otherwise, you can create your own profile. How to create your own profile? Already FortiGate vendor, they created their own profile, customized profiles. Antivirus monitor, Wi-Fi default. They created additional 2 profiles. Default one is this one. But additionally, they created 2 more. That is customized one. That's what I said. So by default, vendor will provide the default profiles. If you want or business requirement wise, you can create your own profiles. Okay.
Okay.
After creating these profiles, what we have to do, we have to apply these profiles in the policies. After creating the profiles, after creating security profiles, we have to apply these security profiles in the policies, security policies. So that is about security profiles. So next one, we have firewall policies. Before going to firewall policies, management IP or management device, or management host name or management IP. So what is meant by this one? So example, you are a part of Infosys company and you are supporting for one of the healthcare project in the USA. So example, Providence Health. Providence Health is from USA or Primera Health. Okay. So there are different companies we have. So in Infosys company, you are sitting in the Hyderabad location, Gachibowli, and you want to access the, okay, so Providence Health located firewall. How can you access? How can you access the device? Example, you are a part of Infosys Gachibowli and your client is from Providence Health USA location. So if you want to access the Providence Health firewall, you are supporting for that particular project. If you want to access the firewall, it is located in the USA. How can you access the device? Through
Manager, sir.
remotely.
FortiGate manager.
Firewall manager.
Not firewall manager, management IP, through management IP or
Host.
management host name or management device. So example, this is, I already told yesterday also, FortiGate portidemo.com. This is located in USA. How you are accessing this one? So we are accessing through remotely. It is located in USA. This is called management host name or management IP. For every device, one dedicated IP we have to create. Example, so this is management IP. So for this management interface, I will go 10.10.10.1. And it is located in the USA. If you want to access this one of the host name for this IP address 10.10.10.1. So I will go host name. Why we have to give the host name? For easily remembering purpose. Easily remembering purpose. So now I will give Providence Health Firewall1.com. So now I have to go to the here www.com Providence Health Firewall1.com. Now I can access the device. That is called management IP or management host name. So one of the interface we have to configure as a management IP or management host name to access the device through remotely. That is called management IP address. Example, this is also management IP. This demo tool is deployed in the USA, but we are accessing from India. So it's like through remotely we are accessing. So for that reason, one of the interfaces we have to configure as a management IP or management host name. Okay. So if you want to access the device, through remotely, one of the interface we have to configure as a management IP and have to give host name as well. So why we have to do the host name? As I said previously, 20 firewalls we have. 20 firewalls you are giving 10.10.10.1, 10.10.10.2, 10.10.10.3. You will get confusion, right? Which one is belongs to Hyderabad firewall? Which one is belongs to Bangalore firewall? Which one is belongs to Chennai firewall? So that's why if you are providing the host name, it is easy for us. It is like user friendly. So this firewall belongs to Chennai, this firewall is belong to Bangalore, this firewall is belong to Hyderabad, and so on. So that's why for every firewall, not only this one, even sopocentral.com, even sim.com, for every tool basically. So instead of giving the IP address, better it give the host name so that it is easy to remember. So that's called management IP. Next one is firewall policies. Firewall policies. So by default, when you're purchasing the firewall, example, this firewall I purchased. This firewall I purchased. After purchasing this firewall, if you want to open this firewall, by default IP address is 192.168.1.1. Any firewall you can consider. Any firewall, every vendor, by default, they will give 192.168.1.1 and username and password either admin, demo. This is not only applicable to firewall, guys. Even you are purchasing one of the server, that means HP server, like a 720L. That's one of the HP server, IBM server. Okay, so and so on. So server side also they will give either admin or demo by default. We have to change that to default passwords. Already it's one of the attack, right? Always we have to change the default passwords. Okay. Because the attacker will identify the default password easily. So by default, when you're purchasing the firewall, by default, we have one of the policy will be there. By default, every vendor of the firewall, will come up with default rule. So the default rule is implicitly deny. Implicitly deny meaning here, whatever traffic going on the firewall, everything should be dropped out. Whatever traffic is going on the firewall, everything should be dropped off or dropped out. Otherwise, dropped out. That is called implicitly deny. Whatever traffic is going on in the firewall, everything should be dropped off. So by default, this is the rule will be available. So always this rule we have to put in the bottom of our policy. Firewall policy, what is the approach normally will follow? Top to bottom approach. Top to bottom or top down approach. Top to bottom or top down approach. It's entire question, guys. What the firewall rule validation? Firewall rule validation, it will follow top down approach. Meaning here, whenever any packet is entering into the firewall, it will follow. Example, 100 rules are there. It will validate rule number 1 first. It will validate rule number 2, rule number 3, rule number 4, rule number 5, and so on. Whenever it is matching the condition, it will stop it there. So example, 100 policies you configured or 100 rules we configured. So out of these 100 rules, whatever rule is matching to our packet, there it will stop. Whenever condition meet, that packet will be stopped. Okay, so that is the firewall rule validation. So how we can say this one practically? I will go and I will create couple of rules now. So rule name, source zone, destination zone, source IP, destination IP, source user, destination user, port number, protocol, application, action, security profile, application, security profile, action. So this example firewall rule, generic way I'm explaining, not based on the vendor wise. Okay. So example, you can see, now you can think network architecture diagram in your mind. Give me 1 second, I'll be back. One minute. Apologies, guys. So example, now you can think network architecture diagram in your mind, and we will create couple of rules now based on our business requirement. Okay. Example, maybe we want to allow facebook.com. So rule name is allowing of the Facebook. Allowing of Facebook. Now source zone. So you can think about the practical, what is the network architecture diagram? One of the employee. So keep network architecture diagram in your mind. Now you can say one of the internal employee wants to access, not only one, any of the employee wants to access the facebook.com. What is source zone, guys?
Trusted
So,
zones.
Trust zone.
Trust zone.
Yes, internal employee. Destination zone.
First, sir.
External.
External
Yeah.
zone and trust zone.
Yes, external or untrust. You are right, external or untrust, because Facebook is available in the public. So you are considered, maybe you are part of Infosys, you want to access the facebook.com. It is obviously facebook.com is outside. It's not part of Infosys company. So that is nothing but untrust zone. Source IP. Every employee. Nothing but any employee. Source IP, every employee wants to access any. Destination IP. Any. Nothing but in this inner facebook.com, but we don't know any. Source user.
Any.
Destination user. Not applicable, basically, we can say any. Port number.
443.
443. Protocol.
HTTPS.
HTTPS. Application.
Facebook.
Facebook.com. Security profiles. So all security profiles we have whatever we configured. So everything we have to enable.
Okay.
Okay.
The
So
virus.
all security profiles we have to configure here. Action.
Hello, sir.
Hello. So now when the internal employee is trying to access facebook.com, so this is rule number 1. Rule ID is example 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay. So this is the rule number 1. When the internal employee of Infosys is trying to access the facebook.com, it will validate. Example 5 rules are there. So where is Facebook rule is available? Example first rule. Now it is matching the condition. So then automatically it will stop it here. Okay. We will create one more rule, then we'll come to know. Second rule, example, BitTorrent we want to block or YouTube we want to block. Why? Because if every employee is watching YouTube, so there are lot of bandwidth disturbance, lot of bandwidth utilization. Finally, we are not able to access our internal application properly. Okay. So in that scenario, how we can configure this one? So now we have to block the YouTube, blocking of YouTube. Blocking of YouTube. Source zone. What is the source zone?
Trust.
Source zone.
Trust, sir. Employee will be
Yeah, employee. Yeah, trust or internal. That's correct. Destination zone.
untrust.
Untrust.
Any.
Any.
sir.
Destination IP.
Yes, కూడా any.
Source user.
Any.
Any. Destination user.
Any.
Actually, destination is not applicable because we don't know, right? YouTube is not a destination, right? Anyway, that's fine. Port number
443.
443.
443. HTTPS.
TPS.
YouTube.com.
YouTube.com.
YouTube.com. Security profile.
All, sir.
Block.
All, sir.
All. Action.
Hello.
Block.
See, already we are blocking youtube.com. Then why we have to run the antivirus scan here? Already we are blocking the URL itself. If any, first of all, whether employee is able to access the youtube.com.
No, sir. No.
No, right? So there is no need to select anything here, not applicable or no. Only for allowed applications only we have to allow the security profiles. Example in facebook.com, maybe couple of people are uploading the video or maybe they are uploading the photos. So maybe that photos or videos or audios contains the malware. In that scenario, if you are allowing the security profiles, so antivirus scanning will do, URL filtering it will do, antivirus scanning, malware scanning it will do, and it will identify those audio files, video files, or photos contains any malware, and it can identify the malware is available or not. Now, secondly, anyway, you are blocking YouTube. First of all, whether employee is downloading the YouTube file or movie or whatever it may be. First of all, is not able to access the youtube.com. How is he able to download the movies and so on? That's why for blocking of something, there is no need to select any security profile. Understood or not? Because that URL itself we are blocking. So first of all, if URL itself blocking, so why we have to enable the security profiles? It's not required. That's why for blocking something, there is no need to enable any security profiles. Okay. Now one more thing. Now one more I am putting. So YouTube is a part of social networking or not?
Sir,
YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are right. Now third policy we will create social network blocking or allowing otherwise. Social network blocking or allowing. Entire category of this social networking blocking. Entire category of social network SN blocking. Or maybe we'll put allowing. So entire category of social networking allowing. So what is the source zone?
Trust.
Trust,
External.
untrust, or external, anything is
Any.
fine.
Any.
Any,
Destination IP any. Source user any. Destination
Any.
user any.
Any.
any,
440.
440.
443.
HTTPS.
Here we have to select the category of entire social networking.
All,
So we
sir.
have to, yeah, all social networking. Security profile.
Not applicable.
All. Allowing
Allowing.
all.
Also
Allowing
allowing
means
all. Allowing.
Yes, we have to create all. Action.
Block.
allow.
Yellow, sir.
Yellow or block? Okay.
Yellow. We are allowing here. See, rule name is allowing. Now I have one query, guys. In this scenario, whether YouTube is able to allow or block.
YouTube will be blocked, sir.
YouTube will be
What about
blocked.
Facebook?
Facebook will be allowed.
Already we are blocked.
Facebook allow.
Facebook will be allowed because it will be rule will be from top to bottom. So the first come it will be allowed. Second one is not allowed.
But third rule is showing as even YouTube is allowing, right?
Yes, sir.
Firewall policies it will be running from top to bottom, sir.
Okay, firewall is running to top to bottom. Yes.
In that manner, if rules first rule will be allowing, no, Facebook will be allowed, and
Okay.
YouTube will be blocked, and other social networking will be allowed.
Excellent. That is the perfect answer. Yeah, you are right. So in this scenario, example allowing of the Facebook, anyway, even we are entire social networking all allowing. So even entire social network all Facebook is available. And both the Facebooks are allow only, it will allow. But coming to here, second rule is a blocking of the YouTube. So blocking of the YouTube is a second rule, and allowing of the social network is third rule. So what is our main here firewall validation rule? Top to bottom approach or top down approach. So here, when the user is trying to enter the youtube.com, packet will go to the firewall, and firewall will validate where is our matching condition related to firewall rule validation. So for YouTube related, these are the two rules are available. First rule is blocking of YouTube. Second rule is blocking of allowing of the YouTube. Already it is matching this condition related to YouTube. So it will stop it here itself. It will not go to other roles. Are you getting? So already it is matching the condition related to rule validation. So it will stop that packet here itself. Finally, user is not able to access the youtube.com. Okay, so it will stop here itself and it will not go to another role. Okay, in case, maybe this rule, if I'm putting down, now in this scenario, can we access the YouTube or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, sir.
So that is the basic condition, guys. This is called top to bottom approach, top rule validation. And coming back to our practical scenarios. Okay, by default, as I said, implicitly deny. By default, last rule, okay, in our organization, we are creating only three rules. Last rule is implicitly deny. So otherwise, control Z. So implicitly deny. So always our last rule is, so source zone any, destination zone any, source IP any, destination IP any, source user any, destination user any, port number any, protocol any, application any, source security profile all. Action is, what is the action?
Block.
Deny.
Yeah. Not applicable. Yeah, deny. Implicitly deny or implicitly block. So last rule is always implicitly deny or implicitly block. Whatever other traffic is coming, everything should be blocked out. That's why always our default rule, we have to move to bottom. So at the time of purchasing the firewall, example, I purchase the firewall, I'll put into our data center. In that scenario, implicitly deny firewall rule will be there in the top. Okay, if you don't move that one to bottom, we cannot access anything. So that's why always implicitly deny rule should be there in the bottom. After creating whatever our rules we have, last rule always should be implicitly deny. Is it clear now? Okay. So this is this is about implicitly deny and how to create firewall policies. Coming back to our scenarios. So
Sorry to
example,
interrupt you, sir. I have a doubt here. Sir, actually, as per my yesterday's class understanding, we have to depend upon the factor that port number, right? To allow or deny the action. To allow or deny the action.
Not about port number, based on the yesterday, that is the differences between Palo Alto and FortiGate.
Okay,
And
okay.
FortiGate firewall and other vendor firewalls, it is blocking based on the port and port number. So protocol and port number, but Palo
Okay.
Alto firewall is blocking on the application based. This is the generic rules I am giving, generic policies.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coming back to scenarios. Now you know the 50 attacks. So we discussed out approximate 40 attacks. So example, maybe phishing email is coming, or maybe brute force attack is coming, or maybe password spray attack is coming, or maybe DOS attack is coming to organization level, VPN authentication failures. Authentication failures. So these are the couple of things we discussed already, attacks. So in this scenario, maybe example, take brute force attack itself. So brute force attack is coming from one of the external attacker. So example, that IP address may be 1.1.1.1. So whether it is insider threat or external attack.
External, sir.
External attack. Yes. So we already know what is the public IP range and private IP address range. So if this attack is coming from 1.1.1.1, it's a public IP. So this obviously external attacker is trying to do the brute force attack. Now that alert is received in the SIM tool. Later what you will do, you will go and you will check the reputation of the IP address. In which tool you will check the reputation of the IP address? Either MX tool or IP wide or IP abuse database and so on. Example. So maybe we are going to MX tool. You have to play with all these tools, guys. MX tool and click on the MX tool. And you can see here there are a lot of there are different types of tabs we have. One is MX lookup, block list, DMARC, diagnostics, email health, DNS lookup, analyze headers. So domain name, this is domain name only. You can see domain name validation. That means it's not related to IP address. Block list. So you can go to block list and see, you can see here server IP or domain. That means here this tab is applicable to either we can check the reputation of the IP address or else we can check the domain name as well. So now we can go and you can paste 1.1.1.1 and check on the block list check. In this similar way, I will go to virustotal.com. Now you can see after opening the virustotal.com, there are three different types of tabs we have. One is a file tab, URL tab, search tab. So file tab is dedicated to malware analysis, you know already, because through malwares will come through files. Second tab is URL. Okay. So third tab is search, only dedicated to URLs, malicious URL checking. Third one is search. You can see here either URL we can validate, IP address we can validate, file hash value we can validate, domain we can validate. Now take this 1.1.1.1 and check the reputation of the IP address. So now enter this one. So now we can see out of 94 vendors, 4 vendors are saying that's a malicious IP. Now brute force attack is coming from 1.1.1.1. This attacker is trying to do one of the brute force attack to our victim IP maybe 10.10.10.1. So it's one of the HR laptop. HR laptop. So this one is our attacker IP address. So attacker IP address is 1.1.1. HR laptop is 10.10.10.1. So from this IP address, they are trying to compromise the username and password of this HR guy. Now this alert is received in the SIM tool. Now you will go and you will check the what is the attacker IP address. Now you will take this IP address and you'll go to virustotal.com and you are checking. Now according to this one, reputation is showing as a malicious. You can see here 4 security vendors flagged this IP address as a malicious. After that, what we have to do?
We have to block this IP address in firewall.
Yes, perfect. We have to block this IP address in the firewall. So before going to block the IP address in the firewall, so which logs we have to integrate it to SIM tool? Brute force attack. For brute force attack, which logs we have to integrate it to SIM tool, guys?
IP logs.
IP logs. For every attack, you should understand what are the log sources logs we have to integrate to SIM tool. For brute force attack related attacks, what are the log source we have to integrate to SIM tool? Username.
System.
Log source means where the logs are generating. From which log sources logs it is going to SIM tool and it is generating the alert. What is the log source?
Syslog, sir.
Log
Sir,
source.
sorry to interrupt. I have a doubt here.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, after checking the reputation of the file in the MX tool or IPY tool,
Yes.
totalvirus.com, then we have to block that particular file if that in the EDR tool, right, sir?
Why you are bringing file here? We are checking IP address now, not file.
Okay.
This is file. We are checking IP address reputation, not file validation.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So coming back here now, which log sources logs if you are integrating to SIM
Traditional
tool?
Windows logs.
Firewall.
Windows logs only. Windows
Windows
logs.
logs. Traditional username and password.
Username and password where it will store, guys.
Okay.
Username and password where it will store. Username and password where it will store.
Active Directory.
Sir,
Domain
controller.
controller.
Domain controller.
Active directory.
Domain
Domain
controller.
controller. Active directory is a service. It will provide all the users information. Domain control logs we have to integrate. So that's what is logically you can think, guys. So in this scenario, domain control centralized authentication and authorization server. DC is centralized authentication and authorization server. When the attacker is trying to enter or guess the password, that request will go to the domain controller and domain control validate. So what is the password the attacker is trying to enter? All these activity of the logs we can see in the domain controller. So domain control logs, if we are integrating to SIM tool, and we have to create one of the correlation rule or use case in the SIM tool. Then it will go to those logs will go to the SIM tool. In SIM tool, we are creating one of the policy and final alert will be generated. Understood or not? Coming to malware category of the attack, what is log source? Malware category of the attack, what is the log source?
files.
Files only, but what is the log source? Log source means which logs we have to integrate it to SIM tool. We discussed already in Sophos EDR. EDR logs we have to integrate. So under Sophos EDR, there are two different types of logs. One is events related to malware logs. Under administration, you can go to the logs and reports. So we have logs and reports tab is there. You are clicking on the logs and reports. We have events and also audit related logs. Audit is a dedicatedly who is logging and logging out of the Sophos EDR tool. Second one, events related to malware logs. Whenever any end user is trying to download any malware files or copying through malware files or phishing email clicking on, in that scenario, all those logs will be, we can see in the EDR tool. Only EDR tool or any other log source we can see. So malware analysis tools, next generation firewalls. So these are some of the log sources for the malware related thing.
Okay.
So in such a way, every attack you should understand what is the log source. Log source. Clear now? Yeah, most of the cases, next generation firewall for almost it is applicable to, except authentication. For every log source, next generation firewall will come. Okay, because it is doing a lot more features, correct? Antivirus, DLP, encryption, it will do so many things. So this we can discuss later, don't worry. So in this scenario, domain controller. Okay, now we are checking the reputation of the IP address. So 1.1.1.1, it's a malicious IP. Now we have to go and we have to block this IP address. Now where we have to block this IP address? We have to block in the firewall level. Okay. Now example, implicitly deny, I'll put down. Implicitly deny, I'll put down because we have to add before this one. So now here, blocking of IP 1.1.1.1 because this is malicious one. What is source zone? What is source zone?
Untrust zone.
Untrust zone. Excellent. Untrust zone because source here from attacker outside to inside this request is coming. So attacker IP address from untrust to trust it is coming. This request. What destination?
Trust zone.
Trust zone. Source IP.
Any, sir?
Any, sir?
Source IP.
1.1.1.
Yeah. Attacker IP 1.1.1.1. Destination IP.
Source
10
1.
dot 10 dot
10.10.10.1. Correct. Source user. Any
Attacker.
attacker, but we don't know attacker username. So destination user. So whatever 10.10.10.1 is belongs to. Example will put any or other not applicable. We don't know the right. Port number.
Sir, 80, sir.
80.
Port number 80.
Sir, untouched.
Trust HTTP.
No, you can put any port number because we
Okay.
are not sure through which port number attack is entering to the organization level. It's authentication failure. Brute force attack is nothing but authentication. You can put any. Even this destination IP also you can put any. Why? Because in future, once again is trying to do whether he will do trying to do brute force attack only 10.10.1. Maybe next one he will do 10.10.10.2. That's fine. So you can put destination IP any also. That's okay because all these are internal IPs. Understood? Protocol any and application any. Source security profiles
Not applicable.
not applicable. Reaction
Block.
Blocks.
deny or block. You are right. So this is the way how to block the IP address. Okay. So this is the way how to block the IP address in the firewall level. First, you have to understand the concept of the scenario. Then you have to go and we have to block the IP address. Okay. So this is the blocking of IP address. In the similar way, we can. So we already shown how to block hash value in the EDR tool. Where to block hash value in the EDR tool?
Virus total dot.
Blocking of hash value, guys.
Administrative.
Where will block hash value in EDR tool?
Blocked items.
Under blocked items, global settings, general settings, blocked items. That is called hash value method. In Sophos EDR, if you are going to the global settings, and under the global settings, we have two types of settings. One is administration settings, general settings. You can go to general settings and you can see blocked item option is available. That is nothing but hash value method. Any file you are suspecting as a malware and it's got compromised the end user, take that file and check the virus.com and take the hash value and go and block using hash value method in the EDR tool. Where to block in EDR tool? Under the administration, global settings, general setting, blocked items, we have to put the respective hash value and save. That's it. So now we have seen IP address blocking, we have seen hash value blocking also we have seen. Where we have to block domain name. Domain name blocking. We discussed already this one also. Domain where we have to block. Example, maybe gmail.com is a malicious domain where we have to block.
SMTP, sir.
SMT, only SMTP?
SMTP or firewall, sir.
Yeah, SMTP. Yeah, SMTP or firewall or DNS. So either of the one place we can block. We can block in the firewall also. DNS filtering, you can see here. So it is locked out. Yeah, we have DNS filtering option is available. Okay. So there we have to go. Sorry, guys. We have to go and we have to block. So next one, even we can block in the DNS or firewall or maybe SMTP server as well. What about URL blocking? Where we have to block URL?
Sir, firewall proxy.
Firewall.
Only firewall?
Proxy, sir.
Yeah, both firewall and proxy. A proxy will act as a gateway or bridge between the user and the application. So proxy URL we have to block in the proxy level. You should understand all these logical things. Okay, whenever any attack come, we will do all these. Okay, so I'm taking away this one. It's not required. So I'll keep it otherwise. So next one. Firewall high availability. Firewall high availability. So nothing but here maintaining the two firewalls. So high availability meaning here two firewalls, primary and backup. So that combinations we can configure in two firewalls. Two firewalls to maintain availability related issues. As per CIA, it is similar to like a DOS attack. So why we have to maintain the two firewalls? For maintain the availability. Always it should be available. Okay. So different vendors, they will give the different terminology. Okay. So what is the terminology? High availability terminology. So either we can call it as primary and secondary firewall. So our primary backup,
Active passive.
active passive,
Master slave.
master slave. So these are the four different types of names are there, guys. So primary and secondary, that is also different vendors, they'll call different terminology, but it is fine. Primary and secondary, primary or backup, active or passive, master or slave. Okay. So this is the high availability names. First firewall is a primary and second firewall secondary. First firewall is a primary, second firewall is a backup firewall. First primary firewall is active, second firewall is passive, and first firewall is a master, second firewall is slave. So the high availability terminology. Okay. Now how to configure this one? So based on what parameters, which firewall will act as a primary and which firewall will act as a secondary? Example, two firewalls are there. Before our class, I was drawing this diagram. So this is our primary firewall, 2400D. It's a FortiGate firewall. Okay. I already shown here, right? This is 2400D. At 240, 2400 also available. Okay. So this is example primary firewall. And we have similar type of firewall. One more is available. Okay. So now, so that one I have drawn in this diagram. This is a primary firewall. This is secondary firewall. Now, which firewall will act as a primary and which firewall will act as secondary? Based on what parameters? Why this one only will act as a primary? Why can't this primary firewall will act as a primary? Based on what parameters? Anyone? Maybe this one also will act as a primary. Maybe this one will act as secondary. Based on what configurations we have to make it as a primary and secondary? That is called election settings. So based on election settings, we will configure primary and secondary. What is meant by election settings here? Always primary firewall has a higher number, higher election setting. Example, so maybe this primary firewall election setting is 100. What about secondary firewall, guys? Less than 100. That may be 99 or 90 or 80 or 95, 80, less than 100, any number, that's fine. So according to this election setting, we can say this is the primary firewall, this is the secondary firewall. Okay, understood or not? Based on the election settings, always primary firewall, always primary firewall number will be higher than secondary. Example, primary firewall election setting 900, secondary firewall less than 100. Understood? So according to this one, it will act as a primary and secondary. Coming back to here. So this is 2400D, this is 2400D. Always, what is the condition if you want to act as a true firewall primary or high availability? Sorry, so if two firewall should act as a high availability, so some of the conditions we have to follow. Some of the conditions we have to follow. What are the conditions we have to follow? Conditions for maintaining high availability. Conditions for maintaining high availability. So first condition is, first condition, both the firewall should be same model number. So example, if primary firewall number is 2400D, secondary firewall is 1080D, whether high availability will work? In this scenario, high availability will work?
No, sir.
No. Both the firewall should be same model number. If primary firewall 2400D, secondary firewall also must, not should be, it's actually must. Both the firewall must. Both the firewall must same model number. Okay, that means this one also 2400D model number. Then only it will work, otherwise it will not work. So this is the first condition. Second condition is both the firewall in same OS or firmware version. Example, so this is primary firewall 2400D, secondary firewall 2400D. If primary firewall version is example 9.1, right now 7.2 in FortiGate. Yesterday we have seen, right? What the model number of, not model number, firmware version? Firmware version
7.2.
7.2. You can see it's 7.2 firmware version. Maybe latest also we have to update, guys. 7.2. Example here 5.2 is there. Whether availability will work?
No, sir.
No. Always both the firewall should be in same firmware version. Then it will synchronize. Primary firewall configuration will synchronize with the secondary firewall. Both the firewalls firmware version must be same. Both the firewall firmware version must be same. Okay. So example 7.2 means 7.2. So these are the two conditions we have to maintain, guys. There are two conditions we have to maintain. Okay. So here, coming back to here, our firewall. So example, you can think about network architecture diagram. One of the interface we will give to proxy. Think network architecture diagram in your mind. One of the interface we are given to proxy. One of the interface we are given to ISP router. One of the interface we have to give to NADS and APS. One of the interface we have to give to, in between these two, high availability interface. You can see this high availability interface. So this connection we have to give to one more physical cable connection. Meaning here Ethernet interface we configured. This connection we have to one more device is the here. We have to configure this here like this. So both the firewalls. Okay. So in this similarly, this interface we are given to proxy. This interface we are going to ISP router. This interface we are going to web application firewall. This interface we are going to email gateway. This interface you are going to core switch and so on. Okay. So same way, even secondary firewall also we have to do. So this anyway it's configured. So NADS, NAPs we have to configure, and ISP router. Whatever primary connections we give an ISP router, same connections we have to give to secondary as well. Okay. So that is about high availability. Now, so how, even though we are giving election settings 100 and 90, so always in between these two, it will exchange the messages. Exchange the messages. What messages it will exchanges? Hello messages. Hello. So primary firewall will say, hi secondary firewall, hello secondary firewall, I'm acting as a primary, I'm acting as a primary, I'm acting as a primary, and so on. So it will exchange always hello messages. So whenever, example, this connection will go away, or firewall will go down because of some of the reasons, if primary firewall will go down, automatically secondary firewall will act as a
Primary.
Yes, you are right. So automatically secondary firewall will act as a primary firewall. So it is fractions of seconds only. If primary firewall will go down, so then in between these two, hello messages will exchanges. Now if primary firewall will go down, now hello messages will stop. So now secondary firewall will think, okay, something it is happened to primary firewall. Now I want to act as a primary firewall. Now secondary firewall will become primary firewall and it will continue the business operations. It's like a fractions of seconds only, everything it will happen. That's why in between primary and secondary firewall, always hello messages will be exchanged. Okay. So that is one thing. Not only that one, even if primary firewall will go down, this high availability connection is there, right? That high availability interface will go down. Nothing but it will show like a red color. Instead of green color, it will show like a red color. I will show you practically. Okay. Somewhere here interfaces also we can see. Firewall level. Okay. So here this one, it will show a red color. That is nothing but, okay, primary firewall is acting as a completely down state. It's like outage. So that's why it will exchange hello messages. Not only this one, even server also, there's a clustering or high availability servers. In between two servers also, they will exchange the hello messages, two servers. If primary server will go down, secondary server will come into picture. Otherwise, passive. Otherwise, so secondary. Otherwise, backup. Otherwise, slave. Okay, these are all the different terminology. Okay, so now coming back, firewall upgrade if you want to do. So will you do two firewalls at a time?
No, sir.
What we have to do?
First we have to do secondary, then we have to do primary.
Before that one, first we have to break
First,
up
we
the
have to
connection.
disconnect
Yes.
the connection.
First, we have to disconnect the firewall. Without disconnecting the firewall, if you are upgrading the secondary firewall, both the firewalls will be upgraded. For rebooting, after upgrading any server or any end user machine or any tool, reboot will take some time. That may 5 minutes also it will take. Sometimes it will take 1 minute. Like switching on your laptop, shutdowning your laptop and switching on once again. It will take maybe 1 minute, right? So that availability issues will come. That's why always, so whenever if you want to do firewall upgrade, so example, current version of the firewall is 7.2 in the FortiGate example. So current version is 7.2. Now we will go and we'll see what exactly latest version. FortiGate firewall, latest firmware version. So Forti OS, this one, it is showing 6.4. FortiGate VM, Forti Wi-Fi, FortiGate. Otherwise, we can go to Palo Alto also. Palo Alto firewall latest version. So example 10.2. Prior to this one is a 10.1. So latest version of the firewall 10.2 and prior to this one 10.1. Example, our firewall current version is 10.1. 10.1. This is 10. This is also 10.1. If you want to upgrade, latest version is 10.2 as per the vendor. Okay, 10.2. So in our organization, we are using 10.1. If you want to upgrade the firewall, so just like that, we should not go and we should upgrade. First, we have to write a change request. So change request meaning here, it's ITIL process. ITIL is Information Technology Infrastructure Library. I will explain that one tomorrow. So what is ITIL process? How many different types of ITIL process we have? So change request meaning is something if you want to implement in prod environment. Prod is nothing but production environment. So we have to raise a change request. So because we have to take care any outage related issues will come. So that's why you have to think about production environment. Always we have to write change request. This is not only applicable to our security team. Always change request will be raised to every team, application development team, product development team, DevOps team, whatever team you will consider. Even application also, if you want to increase upgrade from 10.1 to 10.2, even they will also raise the change request. Okay, this count for everybody. So change request concept is a common to everybody in the organization except HR team, legal team, admin team. They are not a technical guys, right? Okay. So whoever using the tools or devices, those people always they will raise a change request. Okay. So firewall upgrade, I will go tomorrow because it will take half an hour. That firewall upgrade concept. Okay. So this is the conditions of the firewall, guys. Conditions of the firewall. Okay. Next, any theoretical?
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. I have a doubt here.
Yes, please.
Sir, in real time scenario, what is the situation when we have to maintain firewall high availability?
Every day.
Okay.
Always firewall. That's what I said in the theoretical. Every day we have to firewall maintain the high availability. We have to purchase 2 firewalls.
There is a one firewall. It is working properly. Then what is the why do we maintain another firewall? What is?
If firewall will go down, if firewall will go down.
Okay.
If firewall will go down, that time any attacks will happen. Who will take care?
Okay, alternate.
Yes. I give an
Okay,
example also,
sir.
right? So your mobile is dead down completely. Why you are using backup charger? You are traveling somewhere, your mobile is dead down completely. You are dead. It's not, maybe suddenly, maybe your family is calling you. How can you answer the call? Your mobile is dead means you need the backup charger, right? Same
Yes,
thing
sir.
is applicable to here also. So if primary firewall will go, if only one firewall you are using, so in that scenario, so if that firewall will go down, same time, maybe attacker, they will go and they will compromise because the attacker work is that one only. Continuously they will monitor. Whenever vulnerability they will identify, weakness they will identify, they will try to compromise our systems. So that's why we have to maintain the, so firewall, not only firewall. So always we have to maintain the high availability. Especially firewall is a must device to maintain the high availability. Even SIM tool also. Firewall is a must device to maintain the high availability. Okay, clear. So that's all. We'll continue tomorrow, guys. Do you have any queries? Still, it will take one more day to complete the theoretical session. So one more hour it will take. So once it will complete, then we can start proxy. Then we can start IDS IPS. Any other queries? It will take one more theoretical class. Meanwhile, please go and log into the FortiGate firewall and please go through the tabs because you will all, because it's completely new to you, you will forget the tabs. Even SOFO CD also we discussed a couple of tabs. When I'm asking now, you are not able to say the answers. That's why how to do playing, or practice. Okay, any doubts you have? Okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll continue tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night.